Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Michael Garza Show. We're here, we're live, we're doing it large, we're doing it in charge. Maybe we're not too large, we're not too in charge. Okay, we're large and in charge. Let's get it. But welcome to the show, everybody. It is good to be doing 9,000 subscribers. I want to thank, by the way, I want to give a personal message to all you guys. Thank you guys for taking the time to become subscribers. To everybody who's become a channel member. It helps fund the show. It helps pay for any equipment that we might need to get. It makes things a lot easier, so I want to thank everybody. But yeah, the show, 9,000. 9,000 subs, as my boy Vegeta would say, it's over 9,000. But yeah, no, I can't believe it, man. We're actually currently at exactly 9,000 subscribers, so I can't say that we're officially over 9,000. We're at 9,000. But that's our power level. That's our subscriber level at the moment. So I'm very excited about that. But no, once again, I want to thank everybody who's been a part of this show and who makes the show fun. You guys all make the show fun. Each and every one of you guys have your own unique way of doing things. And Annie, how's it going? My brony bro, dude. Everybody give a shout out to Annie. Appreciate you. I'm going to put out a... Let's put out something. Hold on, you guys. I am too slow right now. Hey, thank you, Annie. I appreciate it. To everybody who's been a part of the journey, thank you guys for contributing to the show. Just the simple act of subscribing really helps. You guys have made the show go round, made the show what it is today, and for that I'm really thankful. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when I can't think of anything to talk about, the chat usually brings up a topic and I run with the chat. So you guys are a big part of this show in what's happening, man. But yeah, so it looks like the Iran war is crashing the markets a little bit. I ended up buying a few ETFs on the dip. So whenever there's some exchange-traded funds that I could buy on the dip, I'm very excited to do that. Let's get ready for the next battle. We're going to watch, it looks like Tulsi Gabbard makes an opening statement in worldwide threats hearing. I'm kind of curious about this. We'll probably watch this here in a second. But yeah, I was going to say, just for the opening statement of this particular show, yeah, the market's tanked. I think a lot of it has to do with the Strait of Hormuz still being under threat. That's a big deal. 20% of the world's oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz, so that's a interesting little fact, little tidbit. Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely insane, man. But give me just a few more moments. We're going to try to get a few more subscribers in here. You know, it's funny. We got all the way up to 9,005 subs. Now we're down to 9,000. Of course, I'm pretty sure some people subscribed out of pity. And then they unsubscribed, but that's okay. Just the fact that we're at 9,000 subscribers means a lot. So don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the show grow. It helps me feel like I got a bigger dong than I actually do. Yeah. I got a small dong. Don't laugh at me. Okay, laugh at me. It's fine. But yeah, we did it, you guys. We're at 9,000 subs. I can't believe it, man. I just got done playing a little bit of basketball. So I am a little tired, a little more than I expected to be. Actually, this guy came up and he wanted to play some one-on-one, so we played all the way up to 21. He beat me, though, admittedly. He beat me 21-16. I'm not going to lie. He got a 12-0 run on me. And I was like, okay, I got to start playing defense and I got to start playing better offense. So I didn't win the game. I always like to try to win, but I'm a graceful loser whenever I do lose. But yeah, I lost 16-21 though. I made a pretty good run for a comeback though. I'm not gonna lie. I got within 4 points, so I'll take that to the bank. I got to start a quick goal here real fast. Hold on. Okay, just wanted to set a quick little gift goal. Figured I would do a gift goal while I'm live. It always helps get a little bit of extra funds on the channel. Oh yeah. Whew. Can't believe it, man. We're at 9K.
Chairman Cotton, Vice Chair Warner, members of the committee, good morning. I'm here today to present the 2026 Annual Threat Assessment, joined by the directors of the CIA, FBI, DIA, and NSA. Before I continue, on behalf of the intelligence community, I want to extend our thanks to General Hartman for his 37 years of service in uniform and closing out his 37 years with tremendous leadership of the NSA. This briefing is being provided in accordance with ODNI statutory responsibility. I'd like to remind those watching what I am briefing here today conveys the intelligence community's assessment of the threats facing U.S. citizens, our homeland, and our interests, not my personal views or opinions. In this assessment, we're following the structure of priorities that were laid out in the President's national security strategy, starting with...
I gotta admit the volume's a little low on this. Yeah, volume's a little low. Okay. Shall we begin? I don't know. The audio seems a little low on this particular feed.
Threats to our homeland and then shifting to global risks. The defense of our homeland is of the utmost...
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. The audio for her is very, very, very low. Give me a moment. There we go. The audio is a lot better on this one.
We have a country that was hotter than any country anywhere in the world and doing great in every way. And I say, oh, we have to put out this cancer. It's a cancer. We had to take that operation, and we did.
Yeah, I will admit the Iranian philosophy towards life is a very dark one, and it's not one that I think it's not one that I think should be adopted by the world, and that's why I think sometimes it's a good idea to put a stop, or at least maybe not allow a negative philosophy to be implemented, I should say. Negative philosophies can be studied, sure, but negative philosophies that don't work should never be implemented in society on a governmental level. And that's what we see in Iran, straight up.
And it was very successful, and it continues. Frankly, as somebody said, they could leave today, and it would take 10 years to rebuild the damage that's been done. But I think we have to make it a little bit more permanent.
Heck yeah, dude. I say, like I said, a weak Iran is a good Iran. A weak Iran is good for the Middle East. I'd like to believe that most people are aware of this, but some people don't appear to be. So.
We are almost 3 weeks into Operation Epic Fury. No slowdown from American and Israeli forces, but Iran is still attacking Gulf neighbors. Oil is climbing, and NATO allies remain on the sidelines. Welcome to the Big Money Show. I'm Brian Brenberg, along with my co-host Taylor.
Oh, Kevin O'Leary's on this episode. Hell yeah. I do want to say this, though. The stock market did crash today. And and that's okay, by the way. I mean, like, look, anytime the markets are down, you guys know that I'm constantly trying to get into it. Give me one moment. Okay. All right, give me one more moment. Thank you guys for tapping the like button, though. It really does help.
Bassanese, Jackie DeAngelis, and with us for the hour, O'Leary Ventures Chairman Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O-motherfucking Leary, dude.
Well, Iran's military has been hammered, but the threat to the Strait of Hormuz remains. Now the Wall Street Journal reporting that Middle East allies want the U.S. to finish the Iranian regime, but NATO continues to stay out of the fray, and President Trump isn't happy about it.
I think NATO's making a very foolish mistake, and I've long said that, I wonder whether or not...
Well, here's the thing, then. NATO doesn't do anything. NATO rarely does anything at the end of the day. NATO is traditionally just blah. You know what I mean? Give me 1 second, folks. Okay. But yeah, I will say some people are saying the Iran war is, crashing the stock market. That's some of the rumor. It's an interesting correlation, and yes, the closure of the Strait of Hormuz is definitely a major factor, in my opinion. I think once the Strait of Hormuz has opened back up, I think we'll see markets rebound. But in the meantime, I love buying during red days. One of the best times, in my opinion, not financial advice, but it is to buy the dip. I love buying the dip 24/7 whenever I can. I'm surprised more people don't see dip buying as an opportunity. Sadly, no, but not a lot of people do. But I love it. I enjoy buying the dip whenever I can and then selling on the upside. I'm a swing trader for 20 to 30% of my portfolio. 70 to 80% of my portfolio is long-term holdings that I don't ever plan on touching. But it's good, man. It's good. Let's keep on watching, everybody. Let's keep going.
NATO would ever be there for us. So this was a great test, because we don't need them, but they should have been there. So everyone agrees with us, but they don't want to help. And we as the United States have to remember that, because we think it's pretty shocking.
Kevin, you're pretty tied into the part of the world that we're talking about right now. What's your read on the situation?
So let's talk about the global read, because it's the only commodity on Earth that supports every single economy, all sectors of every economy on Earth. So it's unique in that attribute. It's been sitting above $100, sort of 97 to 114 has been the spike. It has not had any impact yet on core inflation anywhere, because there's so much of it still on the water. However, if you go back in time and look at how long do you have to keep oil above 97 to get $6 to $7 gasoline in America? 3 months.
Okay.
So we got the ticker going here.
Yeah.
Then there's this issue, which I think is very important, that you heard Trump just reference. What does this look like afterwards in terms of the spigot? People should understand the Strait of Hormuz. It's the narrowest part that the tankers go through is 2 miles. That's where you mine it.
Yeah.
That's where you would try and just blow up one boat in there and it would shut the whole thing down. What does it look like 2 years from now? Let's say the maintenance cost of keeping it open and free to maintain it militarily and monitor it is $4 billion a month. That would be a reasonable number.
All right.
Full boots on the ground from multi-countries, whatever it is. That's a fraction of the cost of what's going on now in shutting down the 21% that goes through to all the countries around the world, notably our good friends in China. So this is a real head squeezer for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Strait of Hormuz needs to be opened back up. Period. End of story. The Iranian government needs to be more crippled. It's sad that it has to be this way, but Iran is terrible. The Iranian government's terrible, and it's good to see. The Iranian government losing its foothold in the Middle East. You do not want Iran to be powerful. Trust me. Look what happens whenever Iran has even an ounce, a sliver of power. It always ends in disaster. It ends in disaster every single time. I firmly believe that you cannot trust Iran. I don't know why anybody would. But I don't trust Iran, period, end of story.
Because at the end of the day, the guys that really have to support this thing long term are adversaries, China, and other countries in Asia and countries all around the world, frankly. But this one is going to be different. Whatever happens over the next, I think this thing lasts another, I don't know. I'm guessing.
I want to know if it's going to last the 3 months you're talking about.
No, I don't think
it
so.
done before 3 months?
Because think about the midterms coming up. Think about everybody that within the caucus that Trump has to deal with domestically and moving into the midterms. You can't have $6, $7 oil. You're for lack of a better word, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Well, you got $5 diesel right now, Taylor. We talked about that yesterday.
$5 per gallon for diesel? That's crazy. I didn't know diesel. I don't have any diesel vehicles, but $5 for diesel?
That's still going up. I just throw into the mix. We've got the inflation read today, okay, so go.
I'm really, really not happy about this inflation report.
All right.
And I know it's one data point. The Fed looks through it. We try to look at 2 or 3 month trends. But this does not look good to me. And I don't like sitting here after everything we're talking about and saying, oh, well, okay, but it's just 1 month. Because unfortunately, March is guaranteed 95% chance.
0.5% inflation in a month? That's not good. That's not good. We'll see what else is happening, man.
To get worse than what we saw. So core goods prices were up by 0.3%. You're up 4.3% year over year. That's just core goods prices. Services inflation was up 0.6% in December, 0.8% in January, 0.5% in February. It's going down, but it's still increasing overall. Year over year, we're up 3.8% year over year. What I don't like is that prices rose in food, alcohol, investment in vice securities, which we could talk about, fuels, trucking, inpatient care. Now, they fell for apparel and footwear, but they're rising, and I just don't like it. Fresh and dry vegetables were up 49%. So there's
Damn, 49% for vegetables? Dude, that's insane.
something going on. Maybe it's a one-off that we could debate, but I don't like the trend, and I don't like.
I think it's temporary. If we're going to be honest, I think it's temporary AF, but I'm not going to blame Joe Biden on this one. But look, there's going to be short-term consequences for the war in Iran. Straight up, there's going to be short-term consequences for the war in Iran. And this is something that we should all accept, because once the dust settles, and there's actually peace in the Middle East, at least more peace, because honestly, the longer Iran has power, the less peace there is in the Middle East. When Iran has less power overall and they're virtually decimated on the military level, there will be peace in the Middle East. It's not a guarantee, obviously, but there's a higher likelihood of peace in the Middle East when Iran's government is completely crippled. Just saying. I think a lot of you guys know I'm correct when I say this, and I think you guys are aware of what I'm saying is true.
Like that we're going to sit here and think that March is going to get worse.
Well, I agree. I mean, Kevin, I think, put his finger on it, right? Oil is the one commodity that touches everything. Every category there is going to be impacted by higher oil prices.
Absolutely.
March is going to be a hotter, probably, based upon what we're seeing. I mean, you get to every $10 of increase in the price of oil pushes up the price of gasoline by 25 cents for the next 2 months. So you're going to see it impact all types of delivery, fertilizer, everything that impacts the entire global economy. Right now, there's a slow stranglehold.
And here's the thing. Everything is going to get more expensive for a little bit. That's just the way it is. Not only that, I will say this, though. I mean, when everything gets expensive, people are going to have to pay more. And I will say the good news about that is my stocks will probably increase in price because that means they're going to have higher earnings potentially because everybody's going to have to pay more for the products that they typically get. So, I mean, as an investor, I kind of win, but I kind of don't because luckily I don't have a gas guzzler for a car, so it doesn't really matter. But I will say a lot of the stuff that I end up buying is going to be a little more expensive, which kind of sucks. Sucks for Zaddy, but I'm still pretty cheap, and I have I have my ways of getting things a lot cheaper than most people typically could or would in a lot of situations.
Coming on until this Strait of Hormuz gets reopened.
Okay, so Jackie, do you read this as the trend is not your friend today, or do you read this as we're in the middle of kind of a big one-off, don't lose your mind about what's happening in a 3 to 4 week span?
We're in it. We're in the thick of it. But all the analysts are saying that while we're in the thick of it, we are winning. A few things happened overnight that caught my attention, I think are important. Another top leader taken out by Israel. More attacks on the infrastructure by the U.S. military.
That's good. Here's the thing. The weaker Iran gets, I think more faith. I think the investors in the stock market should have more faith. The weaker, I can't think today. So the weaker the Iran government gets, the closer we get to peace and prosperity. Because once Iran's military is completely weakened and completely destroyed, then there will be peace in the Middle East. People will be able to feel better. Investors will be able to feel more confidence. And then Iran won't be mining the Strait of Hormuz or doing those from the shore attacks they have been doing. We're on the right path, people. Whether you like to admit it or not, we are on the right path. No, honestly, whenever the market goes down in price, I tend to buy. So I bought a lot of stocks today. And, that's what I did, man. That's what I did. So you're saying that I have a childlike brain? Okay. I'll take that as a compliment. I got a youthful mind. All right.
Strategically, that's
I
how
do got
they
a youthful
seem to be
mind,
sort
man.
of divvying up some of the strategy between what the U.S.
I'm sorry, dude. If you're trying to call me stupid, that's okay. Because I know very well that I'm making all the right moves in life. So that's the one thing that matters the most. I'm making the right moves. You're probably not making any good moves in your life, right?
U.S. does and what Israel is doing. There was a great article in the New York Post. It was citing a conversation between an Iranian...
By the way, if you guys love Donald Trump as much as I do, please tap the subscribe button. If you guys think that J.D. Vance should be president in 2028, please tap the subscribe button. If you want Marco Rubio to also be the vice president, please tap the subscribe button. if you're tired of the Democrats, if you're tired of Tim Walz, if you're tired of Democrat rule, and you don't want any Democrats to run anything, tap the subscribe button, man. Haters gonna hate. If you hate, see you later. If you's a hater, see you later. Thank you, Tish. I appreciate it.
And police officer and the Mossad directly. And that officer was begging Mossad to come in and help liberate the people. So things are starting to crack on the ground. Now, I hear everything that everybody is saying about oil right now. I just remind you, as Dagan brought up yesterday, the crack spread for diesel, and this speaks to the inflation aspect of it, is 80. It hit a peak of 83, I believe it was, after Russia-Ukraine. So we started the conversation by talking about NATO, and I want to go back to that for a moment, because as we're living through this, as we live through Biden inflation, as we live through Biden basically...
Joe Biden, I like Joe Biden, he's number one. I love him, he's lots of fun. Oh shit, we got fake real Garza in the house. Fake real Garza is in the house.
Not taking any warning from Russia and just allowing that invasion to happen, knowing that the U.S. was going to step in and spend hundreds of billions of dollars on a fight that you could argue necessarily wasn't ours, that surrounded this idea of Ukraine joining NATO, which brings us kind of full circle to what is this all about, and the pain that you're willing to endure that past presidents have put us through.
Dude, like I said, a weak Iran is a good Iran. I don't understand why people are so resistant to seeing the Iranian military get weak. We need a weak Iran. A weak Iran in the Middle East will solve everybody's problems. Iran has been a huge bully and the number one sponsor of terror for the last, X amount of years. I don't know the amount of years, but it's quite a few years. And because of that, we should be thanking Donald Trump and the U.S. military for what they're doing. TJ says $1 trillion dropped off the COMEX today is gold and silver alone. Does this mean silver is about to pump? All I know is that I love the fact that silver went down in price today because I ended up buying a couple shares of the SLV as it went down. Whenever silver dips in price, though, I tend to buy silver ETFs at lower prices, and then I sell. I trickle buy and I trickle sell. So I trickle buy into the SLV, for example, and then when the SLV goes back up in price, which is a silver ETF, when it goes back up in price, I tend to sell here and sell there. It allows me to gain a really nice little profit, so it's pretty good. It's a good amount of profit, man. Anytime I can get a profit, I'm down. Everyone's got something to say. But yeah, no, I think, I don't know, silver might go up rapidly. I wouldn't be surprised if the price of silver went up rapidly, that wouldn't shock me at all. But anytime silver dips, I buy it. I buy the dip on silver. Yeah, I rarely buy on the upswing. I just sell on the upswing, and I buy on the downswing, and I buy and I sell on the upswing. So buy low, sell high, man. It's a simple philosophy. The only time you should buy low and sell high on anything is if that something has intrinsic value. As long as it has intrinsic value, that's the most important thing. Can you sing? So Ayatollah Khomeini, oh my God, Chief O'Brien saying, "Can you sing that song?" Which song? Are we talking about Pink Brony Club? Because I could sing Pink Brony Club for all you guys. It is a possibility. I may be able to pull that off. I might be able to do that for you guys. Make sure you guys tap the subscribe button, though, in the upper right-hand corner. Look, if you guys love Donald Trump as much as I do, tap the subscribe button. If you guys love J.D. Vance and want J.D. Vance 2028, tap the subscribe button. If you guys think Iran is a terrible country, tap the subscribe button. Yeah, just subscribe to the channel if you're done with the Democrats and you think the Democrats are morons. Tap the subscribe button, man. Let's go. Silver will see 40 again. I mean, hey, if silver goes down to $40 an ounce, I mean, that's a good time to buy, in my opinion. Not financial advice to anybody, but no, that's actually, in my opinion, man, that's a good time to buy. I mean, it sounds like a good time to buy to me. So I don't know what everybody else is smoking, but I know what I'm smoking.
The goal trying to be accomplished there, we still haven't accomplished it, by the way. And for what purpose? The purpose here is very clear. The purpose here is to eradicate terrorism, not just in the Middle East, but to keep global partners and ourselves safe. And also to create a more stable region that can do, country that can do business in that region and with the United States. So, when I think about what we're paying a little bit more for at the pump, or what we're paying more for vegetables, I have paid far more to get far less in the last 5 years, and here we are. I think this administration, I think the Israelis are going to be successful in this mission. I just urge everybody to keep that, even keel, calm head, patience is a virtue.
On the comments on...
I really do think that this war's done by March 31st. I really do. I don't think this war is going to last any further than March 31st. Straight up. If you guys think the war is going to end by March 31st, tap the subscribe button. Or at least around March 31st. But yeah, the more subscribers we get, the better. We're currently sitting pretty at 9,002 subs. Once again, we're at 9,002 subscribers, man. I want to thank each and every single one of you guys for tapping the subscribe button. Honestly, TJ, I mean, what I do is not that complicated. If we're gonna be honest, overall, I mean, all I do is I have a brokerage account. I got my you can get a brokerage account for just about anything. You can get a Robinhood brokerage account. You could get a Schwab brokerage account. Hey, thank you for subscribing, Ayatollah Kalamini. I appreciate it. Oh my God, that's great. But yeah, I mean, what I do is not that advanced. People tend to overcomplicate investing in things. What I do is I basically I buy low and I sell high. And as long as you have a brokerage account like Robinhood or Schwab or some sort of brokerage account that lets you buy stocks, you can buy a silver ETF. I mean, I'll show you real quick. Give me 1 second. So I swing trade over 5 separate ETFs, not just silver, but other ETFs that are like small cap stocks and all that stuff. But for example, right now, this is my silver position, This is my silver position into the SLV. Now, the SLV is an exchange-traded fund. Okay, so here's the thing. I say crypto is gay. That is my financial opinion about all cryptocurrencies. I know you got XRP. And I'm not dissing anybody who owns crypto. I have some crypto in my portfolio too. What I am saying, though, that crypto sucks. That is the one thing I will constantly say, because crypto lacks intrinsic value. And any sort of asset that lacks intrinsic value, and I'm going to explain intrinsic value real quick here. Intrinsic value is I can define why it's valuable, right? If I look at a piece of silver and a piece of gold, if I look at an ounce of silver and an ounce of gold, I know why they're valuable. They could be used as conductors. They could be used for jewelry. Well, yeah, they could be used for jewelry. They could be used for computer parts. They can be used for tools, etc., etc. I could list off several reasons why silver and gold are actually valuable in reality. Whereas if I look at crypto, when I look at crypto, I know it's not valuable in the slightest. Now, I understand the market is saying it's valuable, but the market is fucking high as shit. Now, cryptocurrency is at the end of the day just a worthless string of data. So whenever you get into any sort of crypto, just remember it can go to zero in the snap of a fucking finger if the market decides to. And the entire if the entire market is based on speculation, that is scary. Okay, so I want to say this: silver ETFs are amazing to swing trade. I'm not endorsing silver ETFs. I'm just saying it's a lot easier than going to the pawn shop or the silver shop or any shop that sells metals and buying the metals and then selling them later on down the road. It's a lot easier to sell an exchange traded fund because the silver exchange traded fund actually physically holds the silver. They hold the physical silver in their vaults, if that makes sense. So, like, overall, what I'm trying to get at is the fund itself is actually backed by physical silver. They have physical silver in a vault. So, TJ says, but intrinsic value is relative to society. If society collapsed and your neighbor had a sandwich and you had silver, who has more assets? Oh, absolutely. I mean, yes, it is relative to society, sure. And yeah, I mean, you can make the argument that like ammo and stuff like that would be more valuable in certain situations. But what I'm saying is that if you're looking to make a quick buck off of volatility, sometimes it's not such a bad thing to swing trade a silver ETF. But intrinsic value also matters in the sense that intrinsic value isn't just relative to society. It's relative to reality as in a whole. So even if society collapsed, there would still be uses for gold and silver. And yes, in apocalyptic situations, sure, you would probably trade some of that silver for food, absolutely. But yeah. But since we're not in an apocalyptic situation, at least not yet, might as well, in my opinion, you might as well swing trade something that's easy to swing trade. Because honestly, it's super easy to get in and get out of the SLV ETF. Because all I have to do whenever I get into it, I'm buying the SLV ETF at a lower price, and then I just sell it, when the price appreciates again with silver. Essentially, I will say this. Hey, I'm not going to make any bets. Look, my prediction is the war is going to end on the 31st of March. I might be a little premature in that assertion. Look, I might be wrong. I'll probably end up being wrong, unfortunately. I will say this, though. The reason that I swing trade silver ETFs instead of trying to trade actual physical silver is because, to be quite frank, swing trading an actual ETF that has real silver backing and actually has a very accurate spot price is good enough for me. Because if my goal is to get in and get out, I might as well use an ETF to do it. You know what I mean? The beauty is I could do it from what makes it nice is that I could do it from the comfort of my own home, which is really cool. But yeah, I'm constantly buying silver when it dips, for sure. At least I'm buying the silver ETFs when it dips. I even buy the gold ETFs when it dips as well. And then I just kind of swing trade it at a higher price and get a good little profit for the week. But I don't just swing trade silver ETFs. Exactly. I mean, TJ, you're right. Farmers survived. The richest people in the Depression were farmers. Exactly. No, without a doubt, dude. Without a doubt. But yeah, I don't think society's going too down. I mean, like, if you watch the news a lot, sure, society seems like it's going down the shitter. To be honest, I think, I'm definitely concerned about the youth of America. I'm definitely concerned about. I do feel like they got a little bit of brain rot. Sometimes I feel like I've got a little bit of brain rot myself. I was out in the sun for a little bit, so I'm kind of like, ugh. I feel like my brain is melting a little. Rich Buddy is saying, here's a swing trade tip for you. Wheat and corn. Look at the chart ASAP. Huh. Ayatollah Khomeini says, I'm not saying where I'm living, but I'm seeing far less cars and less food in the shelves. I live in the Far East as an immigrant. Let's see. The country where I live is fucked. Oh, shit. Look, I think there's going to be a lot of hurt for a while. I think there's going to be a lot of problems for a bit. Absolutely, without a doubt. 100%. But, I don't even know.
On NATO.
But I will say this, though. Swing trading silver is fun. I'm addicted to swing trading. The reason I'm addicted to swing trading is I make pretty good money swing trading volatility. It's just an easy way to make money. Because market prices are always going to fluctuate. They're going to go up, they're going to go down. You could take advantage of the fact that they go up temporarily. You could take advantage of the fact they go down temporarily. And that's one of the reasons why I love swing trading the spot price of silver, because swing trading the spot price of silver is a very lucrative moneymaker. There are weeks where I'll make there are weeks sometimes where I could profit up to $150 to $200 just by swing trading silver alone. So it's really, like I always say, it's a very lucrative prospect. TJ says, I would 100% put money in corn stock. I grew up in Iowa, the corn state, and I worked Chuck Grassley on his farm. Oh, hell yeah, dude. What a beast. And then Ayatollah Khomeini says, but bud, there's an opportunity for every shit event like this. Yeah, and here's the thing, man. Whenever the markets are crashing, I'm buying. I keep a good supply of money on the side, just because cash on the side, and the reason I do that is because I firmly believe that when the markets crash, I'm going to be there to buy the markets at a smaller price than they were before, because the companies, the ETFs that I'm buying hold on to companies that have intrinsic value. They're productive. They're productive assets. They produce a product or a service. So one of the reasons why I'm so huge on index funds and buying index funds on the dip, especially small cap ETFs, is because typically small cap ETFs do have dip events where you could buy on the dip, and then they'll have events where they'll go up really rapidly. So I am huge on small cap ETFs. But yeah, I love investing. I love swing trading. So I love trading and I love investing. Now I want to let you guys know there is a difference between trading and investing. And the main difference between the two is very simple. Investing is actually buying and holding an asset and holding it for a long period of time, right? That's real investing. Now, that is 70% of my portfolio, roughly, maybe 75% of my portfolio is long-term investments that I will never touch. I will never sell those investments, right? And then 25% of the other part of my portfolio, the 25% of my portfolio that is not invested is being traded actively. 25% of it. And I'm not day trading. I want to make it very clear. I refuse to day trade because day trading is stupid, in my opinion. The reason I prefer swing trading is because you don't actually have to put a time frame You don't have to put a timeline on the swing trade. You just buy low. And if you have to wait a little bit, you have to wait a little bit. And then you wait until, I mean, if it keeps dipping, if the index that you're buying into keeps dipping, I think it's a good idea to trickle buy into it to lower the average cost. But then when it goes back up rapidly, it's usually a matter of when, not if. But yeah, it's really just playing a waiting game. And normally, whenever I do finalize my trades, I typically get 10 to 20% gains in total because I'm constantly buying the dip slowly, and then I'm trickle selling on the way up. TJ is saying, let's see, what's TJ saying? Now's the time to buy Raytheon, Boeing, etc. Bad time to buy into oil. It's about to drop. Yeah. That's the thing. The price of oil is probably going to go down. It's funny because I actually have a lot of investments in oil companies. So my investments into those oil companies actually skyrocketed because of the oil prices going up so rapidly. So like Chevron, Shell, etc. Those types of companies. Yeah, this is wild, man. Wild.
It is going to be their problem. Listen, BASF, the German chemical.
What I'm trying to say is I do believe that intrinsic value is not just relative to society. I think that you have to ask yourself the question when you look at it is how useful is the asset? What does the asset do? What does this do? Now, silver and gold, like I said, they have demand because of what they can do. What they could be used for, their utility. So you can measure intrinsic value based on the utility of the commodity, for example. You can measure the intrinsic value of the stocks that you're investing in by how much do they produce, what do they do, what sort of product are they creating, what sort of service are they providing, etc., etc., etc. You can measure the intrinsic value of just about anything. You could even measure the intrinsic value of cryptocurrencies. And honestly, the intrinsic value of cryptocurrency is zero. The markets will tell you otherwise. But the actual intrinsic value of cryptocurrency, for example, is straight up zero. It's worthless. It's a string of data. The moment that you trade your cash, the moment that you give your cash away to buy any sort of cryptocurrency, I mean, you basically traded it for a string of data. I want that to be very clear, everybody. I will admit this channel is a very anti-crypto channel, and I don't mind if people talk about crypto, but I will say this though, if people are looking for me to like say nice things about crypto, just want to let everybody know you're not going to hear nice things about crypto. I think people who invest in crypto are good people. I'm just not a fan of crypto, and I just think overall it's a bad investment. If you've made money on it, great. That's fabulous, but I still think it participates in greater fool theory. And greater fool theory is a very fascinating, I'll say it's a very fascinating theory.
Chemical company just said this. We are increasing our prices on all products in home care, industrial, institutional cleaning, and industrial formulators in Europe by up to 30%, effective immediately or as contracts warrant. So this is going to be a European problem because BASF in Germany just said, guess what? Our European products are going up 30%.
And Germany has been probably more vocal than anybody saying this is not our fight. Kevin, I want to ask you about the Gulf states.
Honestly, just the whole goal at this point should just be to secure the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. military has pretty much taken out, not just pretty much, they took out the entire Iranian Navy. They took out pretty much the majority of the Iranian military. The whole goal at this point is to try to secure the Strait of Hormuz. Secure it ASAP. And then call it good.
Wall Street Journal reporting they want the U.S. to cripple Iran's regime. I mean, essentially they want the regime gone because that...
Absolutely. Once that regime is gone, there should be... I will say there will be more peace in the Middle East. At least there should be.
Regime has attacked them, and it's not just been military assets. They've attacked civilian assets.
TJ says, let's see. Hold on. Actually, I got to do something real quick. This is being a little wonky. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a second here. Give me one more second. Okay. There's something I had to transform on here. Center horizontal. Okay, cool. TJ says, let's see. Okay, hold on. Ayatollah Khomeini said, do-si-do, let's just try to get this. Garza, I'll get a tramp stamp of Garza if you give me. No, we're not doing. I don't make anybody moderators on this channel. This is an unmoderated channel. I want to make it very clear. The Michael Garza Show is very proud to be the most unmoderated channel on YouTube. Unless YouTube comes up to me and says, "Hey, you need moderators," I'll be like, "Fine, whatever." But yeah, we're pretty much an unmoderated channel. We don't believe in censorship on this channel. Ayatollah Khomeini says, Garza, can you tell my dumbass what are the chances of a global recession? Should I stock up on food for my family? I'll tell you what, dude. Under most circumstances, I think it's good to stock up on food one way or another, especially when everything's going really well. When times are great, you should definitely be stocking up on food. You should be piling into assets, you name it. Here's the thing, man. When everything's looking good, you got to hunker down for the times when things could get bad. Now, I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself. I think you should enjoy your life. What I'm saying, though, is, don't overindulge just because the times are good. You know what I mean? But anyway, TJ says, I get it. I have... Actually, it'd be easier for me to just do text-to-speech.
Stocks from Oliverum says, I get it. I have $70 I to my crypto account. I've cashed out over 5K and still have 5K in there. Also, I bought silver with crypto, then traded the silver for pigs that fed me for a year.
See, that's awesome right there. See, that works. But yeah, I will say this, man. I mean, no, I think you're on the right track, TJ, at least from my standpoint. I think you're on the right track overall. But yeah, man, I will say this. I'm curious, TJ, do you have any, do you have like a Schwab account or do you have like a Robinhood account or anything? Once again, if you have a Schwab or a Robinhood account, let me know, or any sort of brokerage account, you know what I mean? And if you're not too familiar with how brokerage accounts work, I mean, you just really, it's no different than signing up for like a bank account. Signing up for a brokerage account's fairly easy. Robinhood is a pretty good one. I actually prefer Robinhood just because of how easy it is to use. I also like using Schwab. I use Schwab as kind of like a backup brokerage. I pretty much don't do anything in that one. I just kind of buy and hold things in the Schwab brokerage account. But yeah, so here's the thing. I like having full control over my investments. So one of the reasons I don't have a 401k or a Roth IRA is because I like having I'm a control freak when it comes to my assets. I like to have absolute control of when I buy and when I sell any of the stocks or the ETFs that I own. So, wait a minute. So TJ's saying nothing like that. I can't get Robinhood for some reason. Is there any reason that you can't get Robinhood, though? Is it like a technical reason? Like, did it explain, like, when you tried to sign up for it originally, did it give you some sort of weird reason why it wouldn't let you sign up? Because that's wild, man. No, I don't mind using Robinhood, though. I mean, the reason I like, and Schwab is just as good. Charles Schwab. You can always sign up for a Schwab brokerage account. Robinhood, like I said, if you can, I mean, try signing up for Robinhood again if you need to. But yeah, I was gonna say having a brokerage account is liberating, in my opinion. I think it's great because when you have a brokerage account, that means you could buy actual companies or actual funds. I'm constantly buying exchange traded funds. But yeah, TJ, I would recommend, I can't really recommend anything actually by all legalities, but I will say this, not financial advice for any reason, but I mean, you could always try signing back up for it again. I mean, and if you run into any troubles during the sign up process, Yeah, dude, honestly, if you ever want, if you find yourself in town anytime, I know that sometimes I could get a little busy. I try not to get too busy, but yeah, I mean, if you do find yourself like in town and maybe you're like in town for the weekend or something, or during the weekday, and you want to hang out somewhere for like 30 minutes to an hour. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to show you how to get set up on a brokerage account anytime, man, anytime. And the reason I love brokerage accounts, like I said, is I have full control over when I buy and when I sell, right? I have full control over it. I love that feeling. It just makes my life a lot easier. And like I said, it's like, I'll give you an example. It's like it's like somebody who buys a lot of real estate, right? Let's say you're a guy who buys like 20 houses or 20 apartment complexes, whatever. Would you want to have some semblance of control over the apartments that you're buying? Sure you would. So that's the way I look at brokerage accounts, is that you have a little more control over your assets. You know what's happening with each of your assets. You can, like, when I look at my portfolio, and I take a lot of pride in my portfolio because of how diversified it is. Well, so hold on. So you said you have a crypto account. Now, crypto accounts technically are not real brokerages. They're let me see. TJ, which type of crypto account do you use, like Coinbase or something like that? I was going to say, yeah, let me know. Do you use like Coinbase, or do you use do you remember like what crypto account you use, or like what kind of crypto service? Ayatollah Kalamini says Garza diesel is $2.30 per liter where I live. Oh wow, yeah, liter is 0.2 gallons, but that's a lot for diesel, man. That's a high ass price for diesel right now. Holy shit. But yeah, TJ, what crypto account do you have? Do you go through like crypto.com? Do you go through I don't know what you go through, actually. I think you might have mentioned it, but yeah, let me know, man. Yeah, so like I said, I'm really proud of my portfolio, man, because I've really worked on it over the years, and it's just it's really fun, in my opinion, to own companies that are what do you call it? Hey, we got Ty Lord in the house. Says, "Yo, stocks, what up, brother?" Hell yeah, we got Ty Lord, we got Vacation Time, Ayatollah Kalamini. I love it, man. You guys are killing me right now. But yeah, like right now I swing trade about 5 different ETFs, and it allows me to make a lot of extra money on the side. But yeah, TJ, do you know what crypto service you go through? Do you go through like Okay, so you use crypto app. So are you just using crypto.com app? Are you using crypto.com app or something, or like what are you using? Crypto. Maybe it's just a. Oh, so you're using crypto.com. It sounds like you're using the crypto.com app or something. Does that sound about right, crypto.com? So the reason that having a brokerage account is different than having like a crypto account for like Coinbase or crypto.com. Oh, okay. It won't let you say that on YouTube. Okay. So what's different about Robinhood, by the way, Robinhood lets you also, I hate to say the word invest when it comes to crypto, but the Robinhood app lets you invest in crypto as well. So if you chose to, you can invest in crypto on there, but I do recommend, no, I can't recommend legally. Sorry about that. Not financial advice, but I will say this. On the Robinhood app, you can buy all sorts of exchange traded funds. You could buy all sorts of individual stocks. I mean, the sky really is the limit. I mean, you could do just about anything on a brokerage account, which is nice. I wouldn't say anything. I'm not gonna say it can cure everything in life, but I will say it does make my life a lot easier to be able to swing trade things for profit. From the comfort of my own home or just the comfort of outdoors. When I'm hanging out outside, man, there are times where I'm making like $30 in profit. That is pretty cool, TJ, that you got to speak with Roseanne on the Zoom meeting for Tim Pool, man. That's pretty tight, dude. Vacation Time says I'm in dog right now, an inverse of the Dow. Betting on more downsides, sold out. Honestly, man, I think buying the Dow on the dip isn't such a bad idea. I don't think you need to get into any inverse ETF shit, but do what you got to do, man. No, that'd be pretty cool, TJ, man. Holy shit. But yeah, man, I will say this. Robinhood or Schwab, they are different because they are actual brokerage accounts, whereas, Crypto.com and Coinbase are technically not true brokerage accounts in the traditional sense. But Robinhood and Schwab are true brokerage accounts that allow you to invest in actual stocks and ETFs, without a doubt. So it's a good thing, man. It's a good thing. Oof. Give me 1 second, you guys. Okay. Odin is saying, first off, I got done playing basketball like no more than an hour ago. So I look a little bit strung out, but honestly, I was sweating quite a bit, and I am bloody tired. Felt good, though. Felt good to play some ball. There was this 20-year-old kid. He ended up getting a good lead on me, man. He was up 12-0, and he was up 12-0 on me. Luckily, I made a bit of a comeback, but it was too little, too late. He ended up winning 21-16, though. I made a good run for it, though, man. I really started making a true comeback, and he was playing good defense, but I started realizing I was like, I'm not going to win by shooting long shots. So I started driving to the basket a little bit, started doing a little more mid-range, and it was good, man. It was good. It was beautiful. Whenever I play basketball, man, it's a good game. It's a good sport. Overall, I will say that brokerage accounts, and I know they've been talking about brokerage accounts for like the last 20 minutes, it feels like. Yeah, I love Robinhood. I love Schwab. They're two of my favorite brokerage accounts to have. I just want people to realize that investing is not difficult. People are always going to make investing seem like it's something that you need to like be like a super mathematician. No, you don't. You just need to have delayed gratification. You just need to know, you just need to buy the dip, or you just need to buy in. You just need to be in the market in general. I think being in the market in general beats being out of the market. I would rather be in the market than out of the market. And as long as you're aware that volatility is a part of the game, you will never be afraid of the market because you realize that volatility, meaning that it will dip or it'll go up rapidly or go down rapidly, can always happen at any time. But I would rather own index funds than hold on to too much cash. I love having the majority of my net worth in stocks instead of cash. I would say the majority of my net worth is in my portfolio. I was shocked, actually. So here's the funny thing. I was playing one-on-one against a 20-year-old, and I'm older, for sure. I'm shocked I was able to play as well as I did, because I'm not going to lie. He got a 12-0 run on me. He scored 12. I could not make a basket. I missed like 10 shots in a row, and he was up on me because we decided to go to 21, play by 2. So yeah, I thought he was going to shut me out for a second. I was like, no, I could play better than this. And then I started actually, using better footwork. I started actually breathing a little bit better. I breathed a little bit harder. I was like, I took a lot of breaths. I also made sure that I actually started playing defense. That was another thing. I really stopped playing defense quite a bit during the game. And that was what killed me. I wasn't playing very good defense at the beginning of the game either. I was letting him kind of do what he wanted to do. And then I thought to myself, I was like, well, if I want to at least make this game close, I better start playing real defense, and I better start actually doing mid-range and short shots. So I was shooting too many long jumpers. So I decided to get closer to the basket, decided to do more mid-range. And it ended up working. It ended up working in the end. I was actually able to make it a ball game because I got to a point where it was 16-20. I was only down 4 points. We were just going by 2, so I was only down by 2 baskets towards the end. But of course, this kid was pretty agile. He was able to get a last-second shot, make it in, and he won 22-16. But a very good game. Very good game in the end. I did. It's funny. I shot really poorly at the beginning of that game. Like, seriously, I missed like 10 shots in the very beginning of that game. And I was like, what am I doing, dude? I was like, because I know that I could shoot better than that. I was just being too complacent about the way I was shooting. And then I realized I was like, okay, it's time to actually play. So like I said, I was down 12-0. This kid had a 12-0 lead on me. So I feel very proud of being able to make a comeback, making it to where the game ended at 16-22. The kid earned his victory though. I was like, dude, you play extremely well. I was like, that was amazing. That was amazing. That was a challenge. And I was like, you're fucking good, dude. You're fucking good. So I gave the kid a lot of kudos, man, because he gave me a run for my money, man. He gave me a run for my money. But I'm just glad I made a comeback, though. That was the one thing I was very happy about. I started making my shots and stuff. Because when I miss shots, dude, that's what makes me lose really quickly. Because sometimes my defense fluctuates quite a bit depending on how tired I am. And if I'm too tired, dude, I'm like, I can't defend for shit. So I started realizing that I just needed to stay in front of him, not do anything fancy, put a hand in his face, make sure he can't make it. And he started missing shots, which was a good thing. So I forced him to miss some shots. And And then I started mounting a comeback. I started driving to the basket, doing mid-range, making my shots. But too little, too late. He ended up winning the game, and I was like, dude, you earned that victory, brother. That was a good game. Cool kid, though. Cool kid. His name's Ethan. His name's Ethan. And anyway, I'm describing a little too much about the game and not enough about the stock market. So the markets, man, I think because of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, I really do believe what we're going to see. I think we're going to see a lot of market fluctuation, but I do think the markets are going to recover here pretty soon. I do think that things are going to get expensive in the short term. Ultimately, though, I do believe that a weakened Iranian military is good for the world. And thank you, Tiny Lion Gaming, for saying Garza's curry with the free threes. I can be. Not all the time, though. Not all the time, but I try to.
Assets, they've attacked energy assets. Do you think the Gulf states, they haven't taken the step of kind of getting in the fight themselves offensively, just defensively? Do you think that'll change? Do you think they're going to get to a point soon where they're going to say, we want in a more offensive way against what Iran's doing?
First step was to make this unilateral declaration amongst all of them that they want this rogue nation shut down. That has never happened before. It's just 48 hours old, that statement.
Yeah.
That's huge. And that gives me, I mean, amongst the community, and I'm one of them that have been investing for the last 6 years in Abu Dhabi, in the ADGM, in Dubai, where we have staff on the...
Yeah, Tylord, dude, your defense is crazy, by the way.
Random Gian at 9296 says, Garza doesn't like when I'm guarding LOL.
Yeah, I'm not a fan when you guard, dude. No, I mean, I love how intense your defense is, though. Like, it does make the game a lot more entertaining because I struggle to produce any offense when Tylord is defending me, especially when I'm trying to get into the paint and shit. It's like, dude, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I'm like, usually I just got to dish the ball off or just try to get an opening and try to get an open look. Getting an open look against Tylord, I got to admit, it's pretty difficult.
On the ground. That gives me a lot of confidence for what the future looks like. In fact, I'm going to...
Sometimes I just have to outrun the guy. Sometimes I just all I can do is just try to outrun him, which is usually impossible because I'm not that fast. Sometimes I try to do some interesting footwork, and but yeah, Tylord executes defense, in my opinion, at a very elite level, so he's a tough person to go up against. I do not envy anybody who has to get defended by Tylord because chances are you're going to get the ball stolen from you or you're going to get a shot blocked.
Double down in terms of what I'm going to build there on the AI side alone, because the talent's immense. Right now, it's, people are confused. I love confusion when it comes to opportunity because now I can hire some people that I want to hire that...
I will admit, when there's blood in the streets, when it comes to the markets, when everybody's selling in a panic, that is the best time to buy, in my opinion. That's one of the reasons why I'm such a good swing trader, is because I look at the index on how fearful. I look at the fear index to see how fearful investors actually are, and if investors are fearful as a whole, I'm going to invest when everybody's panicking, essentially. And that's the same way that Warren Buffett invested as well. In fact, Warren Buffett even encourages people to invest when everybody's panicking. And the problem is when everybody's panicking, that's when they all seem to sell. Of course, everybody's selling when the markets are going down. There's a lot of selling pressure going on. So the price ends up going down quite a bit. No, I love buying when everybody's panicking. I'm very much a contrarian. That is the one thing that gives me the greatest advantage as an investor, is the fact that I am a contrarian investor. So if everybody's telling me to, if I tune in, like let's say I'm tuning in on my television, I'm tuning into, I don't know, Jim Cramer Mad Money, right? I tune into Jim, and Jim is telling me, hey everybody, you need to sell. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start buying. Because anytime, you know what I mean? You want to be contrarian to what everybody's saying, right? If everybody's telling you to buy, maybe it's time to sell a little bit, right? If everybody's telling you to sell, maybe it's time to buy a little bit, you know? You want to do the exact opposite of what everybody else is doing. And it's a contrarian investing is, in my opinion, is one of the greatest art forms in investing there could be, because you're basically going the opposite of what the crowd is telling you to do. Because I'll tell you what, when the market is crashing, you know what everybody's doing? That means everybody's selling. So when the market crashes, I'm like, oh, everybody's selling. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start buying index ETFs. And guess what? When the market's going up, you know what everybody else is doing? When the markets go up, you know what that means? Everybody's buying. So what am I going to do? I'm going to start selling a little bit here. I'm going to sell a little bit here. I'm going to sell a little bit here, just so I can make some profit here and there as a swing trader. Now, obviously, I don't touch any of my long-term investments, no matter what the market does. I let my investments sit. My 70% of my portfolio sits, and I never touch it. I don't do anything crazy with it. 30% of my portfolio pretty much is swing trade. Oh, yeah, and swing traded. Oh, yeah, gives me a boner.
Random Gian at 9296 says, "It's my wingspan, LOL."
You do, dude, Tylord, you do actually have a pretty big wingspan, brother.
Stocks from Oliverum says, "Inverse Kramer is real."
It is funny, though. It's funny because anytime Jim Cramer tells you to buy something, it's funny. It'll go up for a little bit, and then it goes woo. Usually, it takes about a week for Cramer's predictions to go back down, which is pretty funny. There is such a thing as the Cramer bump, where because there's a lot of people who watch CNBC, right? So if Jim Cramer's recommending somebody buy something, a lot of people are hearing that message, so everybody starts piling into the stock. And what happens is the price of the stock goes up temporarily, and then what happens is the price goes back down in reality because everybody was buying in just because Cramer recommended it at the time. So anyway. Dems for Israel says just buy gold, silver, and Pokemon cards. I can agree with the gold and the silver because gold and silver have intrinsic value, but Pokemon cards are collectibles, and collectibles are kind of collectibles are not. I am not a fan of collectible markets. I mean, I like the fact that collectible markets exist. I think they're really cool, but at the same time, how do I say this? Pokemon cards are in the collectible field, right? They're in the collectible space. Because of that, the price fluctuations are a lot crazier and even more unpredictable. If I'm going to buy the dip on anything, I'm going to buy the dip on things that I know are actually valuable in reality. Whereas the collectibles markets, man, it's all about sentiment, right? Collectibles markets are all about vibes and sentiments. Only sealed boxes, not single cards. I mean, that's one way to do it. I mean, I don't know, man. Pokemon cards are still in very high demand, but one of these days, Pokemon cards I don't think are going to be in high demand. And then again, I could be wrong. Collectibles markets are really unpredictable. It's all about nostalgia and sentiment and all that sort of shit. So I'm not against collectibles markets. I'm not interested in getting into them. Yeah, because sealed products have the gambling factor. You know what would be kind of fun though for me to do on this channel? It would be fun for me to do an unboxing event where I buy a box set of Pokemon cards and I unbox them live on the show or something. That would be entertaining. I don't know if that would be something that people would want to watch. Probably. But I'm not really an unboxing channel, though. I'll do food reviews every now and then, but I don't do a lot of collectible unboxing shit. That's just something I'm not really completely into overall. Yeah, it's just not what I'm into personally.
Are thinking to themselves, what's going to happen next? I'm telling them, don't leave. Right. I've got a place for you. This is going to end one day, and I'm coming in first as soon as I can get there, because right now you can't land there.
Strong bull case on the other side of this.
This
Jackie.
regime literally has no place to run and hide at this point. Overnight, warnings went out from...
Yeah, the regime is cooked, dude. The Iranian regime is totally fucking cooked at this point. It absolutely is.
Iranians to civilians in Saudi Arabia and the UAE, in Qatar, in different oil and gas facilities that they now are saying that they are going to target. When you take on all your neighbors in that way, and you're fighting a war against the United States and Israel at the same time, meantime, you have no solid...
Yeah, I think Iran is too stupid for their own good. At least the government of Iran is too dumb for their own good. They literally started bombing their own neighbors. The government of Iran started telling their military, hey, let's go bomb our neighboring countries because we can. How stupid.
Leadership. Everything on the ground is complete rubble. Your infrastructure has been attacked. The only thing they have left is the Strait of Hormuz to hold over everybody's heads. And they're going offensive like this against their neighbors. That is not going to end well for them. They have no friends left.
CENTCOM last night on X, U.S. forces successfully employed multiple 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions on hardened Iranian missile sites along Iran's coastline near the Strait of Hormuz. That means they've got their choke point. U.S. military has its choke maneuver as well, and I think it's closing in on the Strait of Hormuz. So as the situation in the Middle East continues to evolve, please join Fox in supporting our troops from daily needs to global emergencies. Help us be there for those who serve. Scan the QR code or go to go.fox/Red Cross to donate to service to the armed forces today. Taylor, you're looking at Lululemon and Macy's. What's going on?
Okay, what I like about this is like a tale of two different stories. So first up, Lululemon forecast profit and revenue below estimates. They had to bring in an executive from Levi's because the
Lululemon, huh? Lululemon's $166.72 per share. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have never looked at. I didn't even know Lululemon was publicly traded, to be honest. I knew Macy's was publicly traded. I don't know, dude. I think a lot of retail stores, though, like Macy's, are just. I mean, Macy's is still relevant, I guess. I think Macy's will always still be relevant. They're just kind of a name brand at this point, a retail name brand. But I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mind having Macy's in my portfolio, for example, but I don't know. I don't trust them to. I just don't trust them as a company overall. I think that they try, but I just don't think that they're. I just think the way the world is becoming, I think that a lot of retail stores, even if they have an online presence, are going to struggle, especially like Macy's.
Is in a huge proxy fight. They're trying to find a new CEO. Macy's brought in their new CEO, Tony Spring. He's actually, I'm thinking, the market's thinking, bottomed out in the big turnaround for Macy's, trying to find a good future forward. So these are big turnaround companies. I think today Macy's is ahead of that, and Lulu is in the middle of their fight. Thoughts?
We call him Lulu sometimes.
Yeah, please. Little Lulu was my dad's nickname. That's why he called me LJ. But
what's going on?
Look, I think retail's a tough place to be, and it looks like that all these apparel makers are in a turnaround, right? We talk about Nike.
Well, I think there's just too much competition in the retail space in general, you know? I mean, the only retail company that I feel even remotely comfortable investing in, the two of them that I feel comfortable investing in, are like Walmart and Amazon. Walmart and Amazon, I always feel comfortable 24/7 investing in. Like, I don't have like super big positions in Walmart or Amazon, but I do have exposure to them, mainly through large cap ETFs. But hey, you know what? I'm hoping that the Iran war is looking more and more over every single day. My prediction was and still is that this war is going to end March 31st. Once again, I believe the war is going to end March 31st. That is what I firmly believe, man.
trying to get back and become relevant. I don't think this is a spot in the market I want to be with prices increasing, the consumer being strapped. I was at an energy conference yesterday, and the CEO of Diamondback said, look, you got to get used to $70 to $75 oil because that's the only place we're going to drill more. So $75 oil means higher consumer prices across the board. It's going to hit companies like this the most, in my opinion.
So much competition out there. I'm a Viore defector from Lulu, so yeah.
I know.
You know, as a fashionista myself, what I like to think about is how difficult it is to maintain the portfolio of products that keep consumers coming in, day out. Every single company loses its mojo eventually.
Yeah.
And I think you're seeing this happen a little bit in Lululemon. You've got to bring, it's like the big fashion house. You have to bring in the next Karl Lagerfeld. It's a friggin' nightmare. And if you're an investor, you got to get ready to ride that pony in and out of the fashion styles. You get it wrong, and some 22-year-old influencer doesn't like the stretchy, you know, compression underwear, whatever it is it sells. Like, it's over, baby.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem.
I think Kevin's
Spot on.
throwing his services out there for you, Lululemon. He knows how to refresh this whole thing. We want to hear from you. If you have a question.
Kevin O'Leary's the man, though. I do think he's kind of an idiot in certain things. Like, for example, I think he has too much of a hard-on for Bitcoin. That's one of my biggest problems with Kevin O'Leary is he has such a boner for Bitcoin. I'm like, dude, what is your problem, man?
Question for us, go over to our X or
I don't
Instagram
understand
page
it.
and leave a comment. We'll answer your questions in our Friday Ask Us Anything segment. Okay, so Timothy Chalamet caught up in the culture war? Oh, my. Kevin O'Leary, the right man.
I don't really know
weigh in.
much about this kid, but
And we'll do so next when we return.
he probably said he's gay for Trump, and now Hollywood's pissed at him. He's like, I'm gay for Trump, and Hollywood's now pissed at him. I'm Trump sexual. Bum 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 bum. And I could turn the lights out now. I see your face. Oh, I could turn the lights out now. Trump order to restart California oil pipelines sparks legal battle.
Always great to be with you as we continue to bring you some of the day's biggest top stories and headlines. Well, it has finally happened out in California over a...
Ty Lord says, I heard the owner of Lululemon named it because... Oh, really? That's funny. Ayatollah Khamenei says,
Garza, have you watched that professor who predicted this 3 years back? His insights and analysis are really interesting.
I have not, man. Not yet, at least. I may. We're not going to be We're not going to be live for too long at the moment because I am going to be playing some cards with a couple friends around probably 5-ish. So we're only probably going to be live for another 23 minutes on the YouTube. So I'll probably do a show later tonight, though. Let's keep going, man.
decade in the making as oil has begun to flow from a controversial California pipeline system for the first time in more than a decade following a Trump administration order, despite state officials decrying the move. For more on this, let's go out live right now to Santa Barbara, California. That's where we find Fox News' William Lajeunesse with a breakdown.
Well, Mike, we're talking about 50,000 barrels of new oil coming online, and that is enough to provide fuel for hundreds of thousands of vehicles. Now, California hasn't built a new well since 1969 when they banned offshore drilling. But the rigs that you see behind me, those are in federal waters. Now you'll see 3 rigs, actually you'll see 2, there's 3 rigs here, that Exxon developed in the 1980s. Now I've been out on those platforms before a 2015 oil spill, which cut off production when the state shut down the sole pipeline that brought that oil to shore. Now on Friday, however, President Trump used his authority to override the state and reopen the pipeline. Now, even though this oil does help keep refineries in California open, and that has been a priority of Governor Newsom, and it also reduces the state's reliance on riskier and dirtier foreign oil coming in thousands of miles from, Brazil, Saudi.
Good, they're getting the oil pipeline restarted. I don't understand why it's such a big deal. Why would it be a legal battle? We need the oil. So if there's an oil pipeline that could be opened back up, open it the fuck back up. Are you kidding me? This shouldn't even be a question. Ty Lord says, Garza, look up Asian saying, I might, I don't know, maybe. I'm a little bit pissed at the moment because there shouldn't even be a legal battle to get the California oil pipeline up and running. There should be no legal issues whatsoever. This is pissing me off, dude.
Arabia, Iraq, from overseas, Governor Newsom opposes the opening, saying California will not allow Trump's political stunt to put California communities and environment at risk. So last year, some Hollywood celebrities led...
Gavin Newsom's a tard. I'm so sick of Gavin Newsom in so many ways. Gavin Newsom, you know what? I thought I hated Tim Walz the most. I don't hate Tim Walz. I think he's just a bad governor. I thought that Tim Walz was the worst governor of all time. I'm starting to believe that actually Gavin Newsom might be the worst governor that has ever walked the 50 United States. I don't know. Fuck it, I can't say anything. Anyway, let's keep going.
A rally against this project, and they dismissed claims by the new owner that the pipeline was safe.
They'll tell lies up the kazoo in order to justify drilling for oil at a time when we shouldn't be doing that.
It's got 1-inch wall thickness in the pipe, and the Trans-Alaska pipeline's only 5-inch. So 1-inch wall of steel, it's tremendously strong, and it's in great shape, and we're already flowing oil through it at a rate of 50,000 barrels a day.
Well,
yeah, that's
get it, my brony bro.
a lot of cars, Mike. So California plans on challenging the president's ruling, or basically using the Defense Production Act to open this pipeline, because there are so many military bases here in California, about 34. Others are in Arizona and Nevada that also depend on California refineries for their oil, using the Defense Production Act to reopen that pipeline. California is going to challenge that by saying that the pipeline is partially encroaching on state land, and therefore the state has jurisdiction. So a federal judge may ultimately decide whether the oil continues to flow or not. Mike?
And William, does this move by the Trump administration move the needle at all for places like, of course, California, but also Arizona, like you mentioned, to maybe bring those prices down just a little bit at the gas pumps?
You know, the governor, on one hand, you say supply demand, right? You put in more supply demand, is mediated, and prices technically go down. The governor's going to argue that the world price of oil is what it is, and it's going to keep prices high. I think it is fair to say, however, that this, in fact, I know, that this oil helps keep refineries. California used to have 42 refineries. Now we're down to 7, right? And they're closing because there's not enough oil in the pipelines to keep the refineries open. So by putting more oil in the system, they've already said it will keep those refineries open. That's what the governor of Arizona and Nevada have been barking for, because they're dependent on what California does. California is now importing gasoline from Korea. It imports 60%.
Crazy. It's so funny. The one thing I don't understand, and I do agree with Trump on this. Oil is liquid gold. There are so many laws and restrictions that prevent the United States from drilling in our own backyard, right? And I'm totally fine with fracking, by the way. I know that people are not for fracking. And I'm not saying it should be done everywhere. But drill, baby, drill, dude. Look, I'm also, by the way, I'm completely for green energy solutions too. I think we can have oil and I think we can have green energy solutions. I think both of these things can be absolutely true and totally fine. You know what I mean? So Tiny Lion Gaming is saying fracking ruins water, though. It's really bad. I don't know about the oceans, but the freshwater. Yeah, I was going to say one thing they could do is they could start honestly, drilling into the ocean floor isn't such a bad idea. It might I don't know. It'd be interesting though to see if they drill in the ocean floor or not. I don't know what the result of that would be, but man, oh man. My goodness. But yeah, I mean, drill, baby, drill, man. I don't think that... Look, if we got to drill in certain areas, we got to drill in certain areas. That's just all there is to it. I do want to thank you guys for subscribing, though. Make sure you tap the subscribe button, and more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow, and just keep it rolling, man.
Of its oil from overseas. So many people will go, wait a minute, there's a lot of oil right here. There's a lot of oil in this state, and yet the state which was at one time one of the top oil producing states in the country, now, because it's run by Democrats, they don't want to put any oil at all because they believe in the climate change argument, and they want to basically get rid of it by 2035 gas-powered vehicles.
Gavin Newsom's a pussy. Gavin Newsom's just a pussy, man. Oh. Sorry, you guys. I'm looking into this a little bit. Skibbity toilet situation. Oh, God.
that this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
They stop.
So how do we tie this all together and give you something positive today? Because the Republicans are kind of sucky. We're watching some, we started with some infighting and a leak and people going after MAGA.
Well, I think we've already watched this one before.
This game today, when polls 2020, this lashed out bill should have never. It was great. DeSantis out to strip Disney's special. Right. Well, this was from Clay Travis a couple of years back. Total incomplete victory.
Oh, there was a Federal Reserve update. I'll have to watch that a little bit. Probably a little bit later. Let's take a look.
Piers Morgan got cock-shamed and ended up walking off his own show. It happened during an interview with HS Tiki-Toki, who's currently public enemy #1 because of that Louis Theroux Manosphere documentary. But whether HS is a good guy or not, I don't care. Because either way, it doesn't stop this from being absolutely hilarious.
I know. I couldn't care less about your silly little insults. It's like a 2-year-old. Why would I care?
A 2-year-old. A 2-year-old.
If you guys can, though, don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow in a lot of ways. More subscribers we get, the better. It does keep us afloat. So if you guys are just tuning in and you want to help a smaller channel out, tap the subscribe button. We're currently at 9,002 subscribers. Once again, we're at 9,002 subscribers. So don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. Let's keep watching.
Listen, sir, I don't know why you come on and you talk like you're holier than thou. As soon as you're away,
all right,
who's this? Applications are open.
All right, let's just
that's your ting, bro. That's your girl.
But instead of just laughing it off, Piers made the
Piers Morgan is such a chud.
Whole thing 10 times worse by having a complete hissy fit.
Let's end this, please.
Cooked.
Is he dude? Piers Morgan's gonna crash out, dude. This is gonna. I mean, not gonna lie. I don't like to see other people suffer, but honestly, Piers Morgan's such a cuck. So.
You know what? I'm not doing this. Sorry, guys. It's pointless.
Yeah, we've all heard of the person being interviewed storming off the show, but the host of the show, is that a first?
I'm not doing this. Sorry, guys.
Thing is, this goes way deeper than just that one photo. And yes, that is Piers Morgan's wife, posting applications open in a bikini next to a pool boy sign. Oh, it's real. This all came out after Morgan insulted Nick Fuentes for being a virgin. And if he can throw out insults based on people's relationship choices, well, just be prepared to take some back. Because it turns out Piers has a
Hey, thank you guys for subscribing to the Michael Garza Show. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. Hey, thank you, ET. Thank you for the congrats on the 9,000 subs. I appreciate it, brother. Let's give a shout-out to Steve Robertson for subscribing to the channel. If you guys want to be like Steve Robertson, please tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. Let's give Steve Robertson his flowers. We're going to put Steve's name right back up on the board. Thank you for subscribing, Steve. Thank you for subscribing to the Michael Garza Show. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner.
Very odd relationship with his wife. She previously posted an image of a car washer in his underwear, bragging, when the husband's away, Mr. Suds comes to play. Posted herself snuggling up to Lenny Kravitz while lamenting that he...
Oh my God, dude. Piers Morgan's wife is a slut. Allegedly.
Taken a vow of abstinence. Posted herself getting, quote, handsy with another male celebrity. Posted herself in bed doing, quote, pillow talk with another male celebrity. Posted herself with another male celebrity, captioning it, don't rush home, Piers. And believe me, there's many more examples. All the while publicly humiliating Piers.
Piers Morgan's a cuck. Piers Morgan is getting cucked. Oh my God.
By posting videos like this. While calling herself Morgan's carer and posting age-enhanced photos of him. But the humiliation doesn't end there. She asserts she wears the trousers, posts embarrassing pictures of him being a vacuuming home husband, announced that she once took a 6-week break from their marriage, admits that she was once a member of the extramarital affair dating website Ashley Madison, demands that she still be allowed to have male friends even though Piers doesn't like it, and according to Piers himself, his wife's forgotten every single anniversary since they got married. I mean, that's quite the compendium of evidence, isn't it? Is all of this just cutesy banter between Piers and his wife? Or is the real reason Piers got triggered and walked off his own show? Because he's quite literally a cook.
Let's end this, please.
Cooked.
Piers Morgan got cucked, dude. His wife sounds like his wife is treating him like shit, dude. Poor Piers Morgan. No wonder Piers Morgan always seems so miserable and it looks like he has a stick up his ass. His wife treats him like shit, dude. If you guys can, though, please subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we get, the better. We're a smaller channel. We're trying to get... We just got to 9,003 subs. I can't believe that. So we're now 997 subscribers away from hitting from hitting 10,000 subscribers. I can't believe how close we are to hitting the 10,000 subscriber mark, and it's all thanks to you guys. I do want to say, like I said, I want to give a shout out to everybody who's been a part of the show. Rest in peace, Brad Lacken. It's another person. I assume that he's dead at this point, but rest in peace, Brad Lacken. But thank you, ET, for the congratulations on the 9,000 subs. I appreciate it, man. We're trying, man. We're always trying. So, but no, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to view the show. I'm going to end the stream. Hell, I'm just going to end the stream right now. But I do hope you guys have an incredible rest of the day. Going to end the stream in 5, 4, 3, 2,